internet friends, my name is Catherine and I'm the human behind Christian Miss Couture, and today we're doing another episode of natural dyeing. So if you remember in the first one we did 2 weeks ago, I believe. Yes. So 2 weeks ago we did green tea and black tea to do a comparison, and I thought it was a little very light, very pastel, very pretty. However, I wanted to compare with more tea bags, and I also wanted to compare if we were to open the tea bags of the black tea to see if there would be a bigger difference in shades. Because I think that the tea bags I had were a little on the cheap side, so it might not have infused as much as the green tea did. So we are going to compare that today. So let's get into this. Okay, so it's take two with the natural dye with tea. So we'll have our green tea, we'll have our black tea here. So where I think I made the mistakes last time is I didn't infuse properly the black tea. And I think I just didn't use as much tea as I should have. The sources I was looking at, they were saying that they used 50 tea bags but they had a huge, like a very big quantity of linen that they were dyeing. So I think this is where I went wrong. I should actually have listened and used more tea bags. So this time we're going to be using tea bags, 10 tea bags of tea for each of the tea, and we're going to use the same yarn that we used last time, so the classic sock yarn, and we're not going to have any citric acid at first with it, just so we can have an idea, as well as if it's going to change the final color as well. So we're going to get into the pot in a second. And something else I think I did wrong last time was that I started my kettle after I added already the tea bags, because usually when I'm doing a tonal, what I do is I start off with cold water. So this is how I started off. So this time I'm starting with warm water, so it's going to take a little less time for the water to reach the boiling point and the infusion point for this. So I can already see that compared to last time, I have a little bit more color right off the bat, and so I think this is good. And I already have one of the tea bag that is spilling some content. That's okay. It's just going to wash off later. So I can already see a nice color here and those. And I think since those ones are like the tea bags are lower quality, so I think it's also contributing to the fact that it takes longer to infuse. So I'm very tempted to just open the bags and get the you know what, I'll just open it. Ouch. And let the content, ow, just so we have a little bit more color, because the colors were so similar last time that it was almost impossible to distinguish which was which is unfortunate. Okay, so at least now it should infuse a little bit better, and you can already see the color is a little different, which is nice because we want different colors. That's the goal of trying with the green tea and the black tea, is to have something different. Okay, like we can see that this one is deeper colored. Nice. Okay, so I'm going to let this steep for a little while now, and I will see you in a bit. Okay, so I am very happy with the concentration of the thing, and we can actually see that there's a difference in color. So we're removing the tea bags and the tea leaves as much as we can. And we'll be able to add the yarn. Okay. And we don't have any acid as of right now. And we can see that there will be a color difference this time. Okay, so we're going to let this cook for about an hour, I would say. Okay. Perfect. I quickly just wanted to see how much color we still have. And it's really not that bad. For some reason, I was expecting much more color concentration left in the pots, but it looks pretty clear, which is nice because when it comes to natural dyeing, you very rarely will have a completely clear bath from my understanding of how it works. So I'm very happy to see that there's not a whole lot of color left, which means that we should have everything we want in the skeins, and we're going to be washing it now. So let's do this. Okay, so what we remember from last time is that we might have bleeding due to the nature of natural dye. And since this time I used double the amount of tea bags, I'm expecting a little bit more of a bleed. But for some reason, it seems that the green tea... Actually, I think the reason the green tea bleeds a little bit more than the black tea is that because the black tea has more of the phenolin, I believe that's how it's pronounced, and this is a natural mordant. So it's basically when you're dyeing with... It's the same thing as when you're dyeing with Kool-Aid. There is already citric acid into the Kool-Aid, so you do not need to add extra citric acid when you're dyeing with Kool-Aid. So it's almost the same thing with the black tea because you already have a natural mordant with the black tea. You don't need to add as much of the citric acid to bind the color to the yarn. So I did the same thing as last time. I let it sit in the bath for a little while, and then I rinse it off to see if there was some bleeding. There was some. It was very minimal though, so it was not like a murder scene or anything, which was very nice, and I was happy to see that we didn't have too much of a bleed. But yeah, so I think that's one of the reasons why the black tea didn't bleed that much compared to the green tea where I needed to rinse it off a few times. So this is my hypothesis. I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, please let me know in the comment description box below because I'm always willing to learn, and natural dyeing is not something that I'm super familiar with, but I'm learning and I got information out there, which is nice to be able to find out more about natural dye. So as you can see with the green tea, I had to rinse it off, I think 3 to 4 times, and I will not need to do it that much with the black tea. And like I said, I'm fairly certain that it's because of the natural phenolin. Is it phenolin? How is it pronounced? I need to double check that. Phenolin? Tonalin. Tonalin. Is it tonalin? Okay, so it's tannin. I was wrong with the pronunciation and I was wrong with the which was the compound. I was close, and tantalum actually exists, so it was not too far from the truth. It was just not exactly the proper word, and it's not exactly the same thing. So, my bad. I'm sorry. I misled you. So it's tannin, which makes much more sense now. So this component is naturally occurring in black tea. There is some in the green tea, but at lower levels. So this is why I believe that we didn't have as much issue with the black tea compared to the green tea. And now I'm very wondering. I'm actually just wondering if white tea, oolong, all of those teas have the same level of tannin, and if we would have different colors as well, because technically they kind of all use black tea, however not at the same level. So we would have to definitely to check it out, and I think that would be an interesting video to do in the future, to compare all the different teas that we have to see the color. And yeah, I think that's what I'm going to do next time that we're doing natural color. That or dandelion. I'm not sure what I want to do next. Let me know in the comment description below if you would be interested in all the variety of teas or dandelions or other plants. So now we're going to let this in the spin dryer and let it dry overnight, and I will see the results soon. And here's the final result for our second attempt at natural dye with tea bags. So we have a bigger contrast in the green tea and the black tea, and I'm super excited about that one because this is what I was expecting the first time, and I do believe that opening the tea bags really helped me to obtain this much darker color. Of course, if we wanted darker colors for both, we could just add more tea bags next time. And I'm super excited about this. There's more of a brown undertone on this one. It's definitely a darker yellow, and I'm super happy with this color. And here we still have this soft buttery color. There's not a whole difference between this and the last time for the green tea, and that's okay because I'm very excited with this specific color. And I'm going to grab quickly the other experiment, and we will be able to compare. So you can see that this and that there is a difference, but not that much, but there's still a difference. So maybe opening the tea bag was not that life-changing. I think it's just helped infuse it a little quicker. And here's the green tea one. And here we barely have any difference. So I feel like if I really wanted a darker color with the green tea, I would have to jump up the number of not skeins of tea bags for sure. And now I'm just wondering if the quality of the tea would have an impact at the end of the day, for especially with the black tea, because it's rather cheap quality, but at the same time, would a better quality influence that much? I would have to test it out. Stay tuned. I think I will stay tuned. I will think about it and I will come back to you. So in the meantime, if you've liked the video, please consider sharing, liking, and subscribing, and I will see you in the next one very soon. Bye.